Hi there, and today I'm modifying Lego's family house with electric car. So this is set 60398 and it's called Family House and Electric Car, and it came out on the 1st of June 2023. When it was first on sale at full price it cost £47 or $60, and for that you got 462 pieces. It's got some great features but also some flaws. So first of all I'm going to give you a tour around the house, then we're going to do a few simple modifications and some more complex ones. So first of all, the set comes with 3 minifigures. We've got what looks like Mum, Dad and their child, and of course their pet Alsatian puppy. All 3 minifigures are fairly standard for a Lego City set. They've all got subtle printing on the back of their torsos, and none of them have got alternative printing on their heads. Although I do like the dinosaur print torso, and the fact that this head's also got a hearing aid. The child of the family obviously likes playing football, or soccer to you guys in America, although it is a shame that we no longer get the black and white printed footballs. As the set name suggests, it comes with an electric car, and this is a basic 4-wide city car, and it's a very similar build to the car that we got in this year's car wash set, although that had those horrible balloon tyres, and I much prefer the wheels on this one. It's only got space inside for 1 minifigure, although you could put the pet dog on the back parcel shelf, and of course it's got its charging point as it's an electric car. Now of course all those accessories are nice, but obviously the best part of the set is the house. On the front it's got a planter and a conservatory, and these are all held on with Technic pins, so they can both be detached. You can take the planter off, and also the conservatory clicks off too. It's a nice little feature which makes the front kind of modular, but apart from just taking off the conservatory and then replacing it with the planter, there's not much else you can really do with it. The house is mainly built on one of these double height 8x16 plates. We've also got a green plate at the front and a half road plate at the side. In the carport to the side of the house we've got an octane electric charging point, and by having this window frame at the back it means the car can't roll out the back of the carport. The roof's built on Technic hinge plates, so you can open up both sides for easy access. On one side we've got the child's room with a single bed, a games controller, a lava lamp and a TV on the wall. And on the other side there's a double bed with some shelves and a few potted plants on them. There's only a few studs holding the second story on, so you can easily take the top floor off and also the carport roof. Just inside the front door we've got a sofa for the humans to sit on and a small mat on the floor for the dog to sit on. On the other side of the front door there's a really well equipped kitchen which open up to show a carton of milk in the fridge and 2 cups in the cupboard. Next to that there's a pot and a frying pan hanging up, and just below them is what looks to be a sink with a tap. And then next to that we've got a 2x3 tile with a really cool electric hob sticker on it. Then below that on the floor we've got some food and water for the dog and 2 drawers. There's some cutlery in the top drawer and a meat cleaver in the bottom drawer, but this is where we come to the set's first major flaw. If you want to open these drawers, you have to stand outside the house to do it. And then over on the far side of the house, the other side of the carport, we've got a really tiny shower room. There's a nice modern looking brick built toilet with a sticker on the wall above, and then a shower on the front wall. And here's the other major flaw. It's not a very private bathroom, and I definitely wouldn't want to use it unless I was very close friends with my neighbours. I really like the black conservatory which sits on the front of the house. It's got these nice roof lights which open. But like the rest of the house, it's not very well enclosed. We've got glass on this side and this side, but the 4th side is completely open, not very conducive for a conservatory. But like the rest of the house, the roof is only held on with a few studs and can easily come off for access inside. And then inside there's 2 containers with a carrot and parsnip and a tomato plant growing in the corner. And then in front of them is this table with 3 stools sitting round it. So, moving on to the modifications. First of all, I love the conservatory, but I don't think the Technic pins and connectors aren't totally necessary. We can just have it placed next door to each other, so I'm going to remove all that. And then next to the conservatory, we're going to get rid of that open wall and add some doors. I love that the roof opens, but it does leave these unsightly gaps down the sides, but I've got a cunning plan which is really easy to fix that. Then we need to make the back of the house not so open and drafty, and the toilet and shower room a little bit more private. So after planning out all my modifications and working out all the parts that I was going to need, I found that the set was on discount at Amazon, and I found the easiest thing to do was to buy a second one. And with the second one I followed the instructions exactly the same, however I built it in reverse. We've got a complete mirror image of the first house. Now in the mirror image of the house I didn't build the beds in the roof, so both bedrooms now have more space in them. And to hide that gap where the roof meets the walls, what we're going to do is extend the roof widthwise by 2 studs using some 2x6 plates, and then we're going to add a slight overhang. So these are the roof plates as they're built by the instructions, and as you can see I've moved the blue plates out 1 stud each, so this one's moved out 1 stud this way and this one's moved out 1 stud that way. I've taken a couple of the grey plates with it, and so from the outside we've now got this 2 stud gap down the middle, and you can see that this roof is now overhanging by 1 stud over the wall. And then what I'm going to do, where that hinge hasn't moved, I'm going to add a 1x4 grey plate there just to fill the gap, and then we're going to add in some white plates, so a 1x8 there and a 1x4 there. So that means when this roof now closes up, you've got that row of white plates to hide the gap. Now, I didn't like that there was this gap between the roof and the wall, but also I didn't like it that the roof didn't overhang. Generally on a house you get your roof overhanging the wall slightly, so I think this is a mod that sort of fixes two problems. Firstly, the gap, and also secondly, the overhang. And also, even if you're not doubling up on this set, this is a modification you can do just to a single house. You still just extend the roof by another 2 studs, then you can add the white plates in, and then that's going to hide the gap. So I've now made that modification to all 4 of the roof plates, so added in that grey plate and the white plates to make the overhang. And one thing I didn't mention earlier is that I turned one of the walls round, so both bedrooms now have the pot plants on one side and a TV on the other. And when the roof's all closed up, I think this is a much nicer finish that you get with those white plates hiding the gap between the roof and the walls. Then the last thing on the roof is obviously we've got to fill that gap. Now at the top of the roof they've used these 1x8 rail plates, and obviously as we've got a 2 stud wide gap, that means we can fill that with a 1x2 rail plate. So we're going to use our 2x6 blue plates with a rail on top and fill the gap. And there we have our completely finished roof. And obviously now we've joined them together with these 2x6 plates. When you open it up, the whole roof opens up each side. So with the roof done, it's time to see what we can do downstairs. So first job downstairs is to join the 2 conservatories together. And what we're going to do is going to remove these walls so it's open on the inside, but also close up these walls so it's closed on the outside. And I'm going to do that using these nice pair of doors. So I've taken the large window out of the end of both of these, and what I've done is moved the carrots and parsnips down here, so we're doubling up on carrots and parsnips in this one, and also tomato plants, and then I've kept the bench, the table with the seats in this one, and removed it from the other one. So one of ours, one of the side is now got all the plants in it, and the other side the seating area. Down at the bottom where the structure was sitting on these 1x2s, I've removed them from this side and turned them 90 degrees on the other side, so now these 2 will join together. The windows and pillar from this one will sit on the 1x2s from this one, and there you can see them joined together with the pillars on this side and the windows on the other side sitting on those 1x2s. Now on the fruit and veg side, I've removed the black plate that was running along the top of here. That was a 1x8, and I've just replaced it with 2 1x1s in the corners there, and we're going to reinstate the window that we took out from the middle with a 1x6 grey plate, 1x6 grey brick on the bottom of it, so that's going to sit in here. So we've now got a window in this side, and on the other side, like I said, we're going to use these 2 door pieces, but to fill the gap we've also got 2 1x6 plates to go above them. And so now we've got a completely enclosed conservatory, with windows on all sides. We can still got easy access for fingers from above, but the minifigures can come through the doors. So I've reinstated the roof and I've turned one of them round so the plants that they're growing up in the roof are now together in the middle. So the conservatory greenhouse type thing is now done. Let's move on to the ground floor of the main house. So first of all, look at the carport. Now earlier on I said that these window frames are really helpful as they stop the wheels of the car and stop it from rolling out the back of the carport. But obviously if we join these together, it's going to be a double length carport, so we want it to be able to roll through. So we need to remove these 2 window frames. So what we're going to do is going to move one to the other end of the mirror imaged house, because that's now going to be the back of the carport. It's going to come in here through this part into this part and then stop at the back. So here are the carports with the window frames at the back removed, and also the grey floors from the bottom removed. And then on the mirror image house, what I've done, I've replaced the charging point with another one of these tall bricks. So I'm going to temporarily join the 2 halves together. I'm going to have to take them apart again when I work on the inside, but just to show you what's going to happen is that window frame which was at the back of the carport before is now obviously moving right to the back here, and then the mirror house is going to go on the back half of the plate there, and then the regular house is going to go on the front like that. So now you can have a quick look inside and see we've got a double length carport. We've still got our electric car charging station here, and we've got the window boxes on both sides, and then of course we've got the frame at the other end to stop the car rolling out the back. Then here's the view from the side, and then looking from the back. Now on the back of the house, obviously we're not going to have the conservatory joining on the front and the back, as we've now got one large conservatory. So what we're going to do is remove this Technic brick, move that plate down so it matches up with the grey plate at the bottom. This brick was the one with the stud on the side on the inside where the shower head was. Going to replace that one and then the Technic brick at the bottom with 3 of these bricks to match the sort of the texture on the walls. So here it is with those parts removed. Then add a plate in to fill the gap, add 2 bricks to replace the Technic brick, then the longer brick goes back in on the left, and the window and 2 1x2 bricks in on the right. And of course we've got to do something about privacy for this side. So first of all, I've removed those 2 window frames. Now when you're doing home improvement, it's always never as simple as you thought, and when you remove the toilet you find this one is actually built into the wall using this 2x2 brick. So it does leave a hole here, so we're going to replace that with a 1x2 brick, replace this 2x2 with another 1x2 brick, and move the toilet down the other end. So on the front half of the house, which was the original, we've replaced that hole with a 1x2, and as I've said, we've replaced the back of the toilet with a 1x2 and put it down the other end. However, that does leave the toilet rather open plan with the rest of the house. So looking from above here, you can see now when the two halves are together, to open those drawers, you're going to no longer have to be outside the house. You can just stand here and open them. And on this side where the other kitchen was, we're going to build a wall and we're going to have a door in it. And for that wall, we're going to reuse the fridge and the cupboard from the original kitchen. I haven't stuck the stickers on this one to make it look less like a fridge and more just like a large cupboard. And then next door to that, we've got a white door frame with a brown door in it, and the 7 studs that this make up is enough to fill the gap. So there's our wall we've built on the other side. Now I've done it, I'm not entirely sure about the brown door. I've just had a look in my spare parts. The only other colour I've got is grey. So let me know in the comments which you think looks best, the brown door or the grey one. And then once again, looking from above with the two halves joined together, you can see there's our original kitchen and then our extended wall on this side. And then looking from the other side, a slight unforeseen problem is having that door level with the front of the wall on the other side gives us this lovely gap into the kitchen. So we're going to have to move this door one stud back towards the bathroom. But that's the beauty of Lego, an unforeseen problem fixed in a few seconds. And then our very last problem is obviously the bathroom privacy issue, and that's going to be easily fixed with just using some more of these long profile bricks that they've used in the rest of the house and filling up the gaps. And then one last problem to fix on the front is getting rid of this Technic brick. So as I said earlier, we're going to move that plate down to the bottom so it sits within the 2-plate high base plate, and then we're going to replace it with 2 bricks. We can't get rid of this grey brick because obviously that is the brick with a hole in it on the other side which has the shower head, but at least we can get rid of the Technic brick. And that's the Technic brick replaced. And so here is our finished double house. And I think from all angles it just looks a whole lot more substantial than the original house did. It was very thin before, and I think this looks much more sort of the proportions of a regular house would be. Now, a lot of Lego cities are based around a 32 by 32 base plate, making it kind of a modular grid system, especially as all modular buildings are built on the 32 by 32 base plates. So the only thing left to do is to work out how this is going to sit on a base plate. Now, our first option is to have it sitting in the middle at the back of the base plate. So you can see there's no space behind, and then we can add the double conservatory at the front. Now this option is obviously more in keeping with the original model. We always had the conservatory on the front. It helped hide that grey brick up there. But another option would be move it over to one side and then we could have the conservatory sitting down this side of the building. This option would mean that the doors on the side would probably have to move onto the end so we could gain access from the front, but also means that we can move the entire model forward a little bit and we'd have a bit of space at the back for the back door to open onto some more grass back here. So with the entire building moved forward 8 studs, we've got some space at the back, and we've still got some space at the front. And if I quickly swap these doors for this panel, we can see what it looks like that way round. So I swapped those two round, and that's what the house would look like with the doors at the front of the conservatory. Then of course, with just a few dark grey plates, it's easy enough to pop off that ramp, extend the driveway, and put the ramp back on. Then our driveway extends to the front of the base plate. So after originally planning on having it the other way around, so the conservatory was sticking out the front of the building here, during filming I think I actually prefer it this way around. I hadn't thought of putting it over that side, but I think it looks nicer this way. It's great that that car can now be tucked all the way into the carport, and like we said, it can't roll out the back. We've still got space to play football in both the front and the back garden. With having it in the middle, the back door doesn't open immediately out to whatever the next module would be. We've still got 8 studs here of back garden for them to use. And of course, Minifig Jez has come around to have a cup of coffee and admire the new house extension. I still reply to every comment that I get, so let me know what you think of this in the comments below, especially if you've got any ideas on how to improve it. If you've liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and of course, please subscribe for more Lego videos.